Today we'll be talking about Canonic's backend capabilities. Canonic's a low-code platform to build internal tools and automations without really having any technical know-how. You can build everything from internal tools to complex workflows and automations on Canonic. In today's video, we'll be diving into some of the backend features. You can build and deploy complete resources using Canonic. Everything from schema design to content management is just incredibly easy to do on Canonic. Once your database is ready, you can integrate it into our workflows, build complex automations, as well as into the front end builder to add a view or to display the data or edit it in a variety of different ways. Let's dive in. So here I have a sample database, as you can see, with the user. I have a couple of fields defined, but for this purpose, let's start from scratch. Let's go to the dashboard. I'll create a new project. We won't be needing any of the integrations. Database example. So when you create a project, you come to the zero state. You can either create pages on the front end builder, add a few data sources, or build workflows. In this case, we want to create a few tables that we want to be stored on Canonic itself. So let's get started with that. In data sources, we want to create a Canonic table. For this example, let's assume we're building a movie library. So let's create a table to store all the movies. As you can see, there are a few system fields that are already predefined, an ID to uniquely identify each entry in the database, and a few timestamps for created at and updated at. Now let's add a few fields. Let's call this name. It will be a simple text field. Let's add a field to have a poster for the movie. It will be an image field. We just want a single image. Let's create one for the genre of the movie. As you can see, we support different input types, all the way from simple text to computed fields where you could run code for each of the entries to generate dynamic data. So for this one, let's create a picker. Let's name it genre. The genre can be of multiple items. So we select the list type and let's add a few options. Science fiction, fantasy, romance, comedy. And that's it. Maybe we want to add another field for the release date. And that's it. That's good to go. Let's deploy this. And as you can see, it's incredibly simple to create a database. Now let's create a few linked tables. So for example, each movie has a cast made up of a few actors, right? So let's create a table for that. Got the name field for the actor. And to keep it short, let's just add another image field for the poster or for the photo of the actor. Let's go back to the movie field, and now we want to connect the two. So let's create a linked field for that. Actors, we want it to be connected to the actors table, and multiple actors could be a part of the movie. So we select the list type. And that's it. We've created a linked set of tables. Let's deploy that. Once you deploy it, we also spin up a content management system up for you. That's based on the data types that you've specified in the table. So in this case, for movies and actors, let's see what that looks like. In order to view the content management system, all we have to do is head over to the CMS tab. this only opens up once you deploy your table. So let's load that up. Right now we don't have any entries in it. So in fact, let's go to the actors field and create one. Let's call him John Doe. And as you can see, the form that shows up for managing actors is based on the data types that you mentioned. So you have the avatar where it's got the image input. I can quickly go in and upload an image. Hit save, and that's it. I can also view the list based on different parameters, so such as name. Now let's go and create a movie. So for the movie, again, as you can see, the layout is based on the data types and the structure that you made. So let's add the name. Science fiction, release date. As you can see, the field types are based on, again, the structure. So for the release date, you've got a date picker. For the genre, you have the drop downs. For the actors, it pulls in data based on the linked table, which is the list of actors. Let's select the actor we just created. And that's it. We can hit create, and that creates the entry. Now this database is already live and good to go. Whenever you create a database table, you also get an option to create some basic endpoints to manage your data, such as getting all of your entries in the database, or creating one, or updating or deleting. And you can always edit this later. The moment you do, you see those workflows automatically appear on the navigation side on the left. So let's go to the movies endpoint. As you can see, it's a single node workflow, and it pre-generates the code needed to fetch all of the entries from the database. You can hit test over here to test the individual node, or you can also go in the workflows, just test it out over here. So as you can see, we can see the recently created entry for the movie, the genre selected, as well as the actors who are a part of the movie. It all picks it up from the structure. And that's how easy it was to get all of the data after creating that data source. Similarly, there are other endpoints you can use if you want to get a particular movie based on the ID, or if you want to create a movie. And for each of this, we also have an auto-generated documentation available. So if I go onto the docs section, I can see that there's a quick overview of how to execute this as an endpoint. So the REST API endpoint, along with the request parameters, if any, as well as what the response would look like. You can also see a quick curl request over here, as well as the populated response on the right. Now let's just quickly copy this URL and post it into another tab, and you can see as an API I'm able to get the data as well. Finally, we support other additional constraints as well. So in case you want to add validation, that should be simple enough. So you can always go into the validation section and make sure that fields are required, and add other validation such as minimum size or regex, etc. So for example, the value should be an email address or should be a particular regex, and you can add them as many as you want. And you can always make sure that it's working by entering the test validation. So let's say we want to keep the value length greater than 3 characters. So you can see the moment I am entering less than 3 characters, the error message shows up. For the primary field, the required validation is always true. You always need to provide that when creating an entry in the CMS or through the workflows. And you can always mark other fields that are of text type as primary fields. And yeah, that's it. That's a quick overview of databases on Canonic. We also support adding databases outside of it through our integrations and workflows. We'll be doing a video on that pretty soon. And that's it for today's video. We were able to explore how to create tables on Canonic, add a few validations on them, as well as manage all of the content using Canonic's content management system. It's really easy to get started, and I would encourage you to try it out today. We do have a very nice free plan, and if you want a demo, we could do that as well. Thank you.